Latest football news, engaging debates,
and fascinating opinions.
Pitchside talk on IO Radio. So kicking off the games for Saturday, it is Liverpool versus Newcastle. And for Liverpool, Curtis Jones is now back in contention after his 3-game absence because of a muscle injury. Nat Phillips, who missed on the draw against Leeds on Monday with a hamstring problem, is still remaining unavailable for Liverpool. But for Newcastle, St. Maximin, he has recovered from his swollen ankle, so he is going to be ready for this game. Also, Ryan Fraser and Carl Dallow have respective groin and knee operations, and they still face a few weeks on the sidelines. Piers here for Liverpool. A win here will see them go back into the top four where they need to be. But it looks like maybe the other side might win around them after that draw against Leeds on Monday. But for Newcastle here, if they win here, that's 3 wins in a row, up to 13th.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity for both teams. You know, both teams have really turned around their form. You know, both teams were really struggling a few games ago. And obviously Newcastle 2 wins the bounce is huge for them. You know, there was slow talk saying there might be a possibility they can get themselves sucked into this relegation battle. But you know what? At the moment, Newcastle seem all right, and they've definitely got a chance to get something against Liverpool. Liverpool, on the other hand, obviously had 3 wins on the bounce before the Leeds draw. I feel like the draw was probably something avoidable for Liverpool, but I think due to what was going on in the situation with the Super League, I can understand the mentality of the players. I think it just come at the wrong time. So you know, getting a draw against Leeds, I don't think was too bad for Liverpool. You know, with the circumstances at hand. So I think it'll be back to usual for Liverpool. I think it'll be back to business for them. I think they'll get the win against Newcastle. I think spirits will be very high, and now they know they've got a task on their hands to get sub 4. So I'm going to go for a Liverpool win here, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 to Liverpool.
So it's a big game today, West Ham versus Chelsea. And for West Ham, David Moyes is hopeful that Aaron Cresswell will be fit in time and recover back from his hamstring problem to face Chelsea. But Jesse Lingard, he is fit, but Craig Dawson has got to serve a 1-match suspension. Declan Rice, Antonio and Masuaku are not expected to be available for this game. But for Chelsea, Kovacic, he is still out with a hamstring problem, and looks like Thomas Tuchel will be recalling back Edouard Mendy to the side. Piers, this is such a big game here for both sides. Both sides are fighting here for top 4. Whoever wins this, I think we're going to sort of see who's going to be in that final place of top 4. But for West Ham here, if they win this, they'll go above Chelsea. But for Chelsea, they build that gap to West Ham. So a big game here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge game for both teams. Obviously, you know, trying to get that 4th spot or even trying to catch up to Leicester. We obviously had a terrific win. They've got Liverpool behind them, 2 or 3 points in it with Liverpool behind them. And then obviously Spurs behind with 5 points. So whatever team loses, there's added pressure on them. Both teams looked brilliant in one of their previous matches. Obviously, West Ham getting a great win over Leicester and Chelsea getting a great win over Man City in the FA Cup. But then in the game after, they both looked very poor. Obviously, West Ham sort of a disaster class against Newcastle, and Chelsea just looked flat against Brighton. They probably should have lost that game with the Welbeck shot, but I think they were lucky to get a point there. So it's a very interesting game. I think Chelsea will definitely miss Kovacic, but when you've got players like Kante and Jorginho, who has been, I think personally, in decent form at the moment, I think it will help Chelsea. Obviously, West Ham have got a few players out. Obviously, Cresswell come back would be good for them. But I think overall, just the experience that Chelsea has in situations like this, I think will outweigh West Ham. Let's not forget they were in relegation battle last season. Although they've done terrific, you know, it looks like they may be starting to dip in form. The pressure might be coming and cracks might be starting to appear. So I think Chelsea will get the win, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Chelsea.
So it is Sheffield United versus Brighton today. And for Sheffield United, caretaker manager Paul Higginbottom is expected to name exactly the same side that lost to Wolves on the last weekend, which saw them get relegated from the Premier League. But for Brighton, Ben White, he's going to be serving a 1-match suspension after a red card he got against Chelsea on Tuesday night. Piers here for Sheffield United. It's just now for playing really for pride and just having a good end to the season. Also for Paul Higginbottom, he's now playing for a potential manager job next season when Sheffield United go down to the Championship. But for Brighton here, a win here will see him go flying up the table.
Yeah, of course. It's not much of an important game for either side. I would really say for Brighton, I guess it's just trying to get up the table. I thought they played very well against Chelsea in that last game. I felt like if they could go at them a little bit more for a longer period of time, I feel like they probably would have got more from Chelsea in that game, to be honest. For Sheffield United, you know, they've obviously had a terrible season. I feel like, you know, people will be playing as individuals now instead of a team effort. You know, players trying to see if a Premier League club can snatch them up. Obviously, the manager trying to keep his place. People trying to see if they can still get their contracts worth when they're going into the Championships, either stay or to move on. So, you know, I don't imagine that there'll be much of a team spirit there at Sheffield United now. might surprise me. They might, go undefeated for the rest of the run. But I don't think there'll be much there for Sheffield United. I think they'll just be thinking about next season now, the players and the manager included. So I think Brighton will get the win here. I'm just going to go for a 1-0 to Brighton.
It's just our home this week looking to end their bad run of results and this goal drought, which is now over 9 hours. They haven't scored a goal. So the visitors today are AFC Wimbledon, who are currently sitting 19th in League One, 5 points above the drop zone, and they've won the last 4 games in a row, including a 3-0 victory over Ipswich Town, which was 11 days ago. Yes, that was 11 days ago. Dan, can Ipswich Town end this bad form, turn it around, end this goal drought, get revenge over Wimbledon, or will Wimbledon do the double over Ipswich Town in the space of 11 days?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, Wimbledon were really good against us in the last game. They were scoring for fun at the time. So yeah, and they're still fighting for relegation, and we know what we're like against the relegation teams. So I'm not confident again going into this game. I don't think any of us are confident in any game, and I don't think Ipswich fans really care about this game either, because we just want the season to be over. Don't think it really matters who what the squad looks like going into this game. It's just we just want it to end now. So I'm not really confident. I think Wimbledon, it's obviously going to be a tough game, but I think I can see it being another boring game without really any chances, as it's at Portman Road. So I'm going to go for a ball draw, and I think I'm going to go for a 0-0.